Barnstable, Missouri was founded in 1872 as a stopping post for settlers headed west in search of freedom, prosperity, and the freedom to practice weird religions. Later, the town gained some notoriety for a local dish known as sugar possum. By its centennial, the town had grown to a modest population of just over 12,000 people. As typical a town as any in America, with the exception of Oak Lawn, Illinois, it seemed an unlikely place to birth one of the 1970s most horrific serial killers. But then towns don't birth people. People do. In this case, Marsh and Jan Holscomb.
Now, first off, just for the record, just want to say we were against it.
Totally.
If he asked us, I would have said, no, don't do all those, cut it out.
We never raised him that way. Write that down for your documentary, right? We never raised him that way.
I mean, technically, we never, sat him down and said, hey, don't be a serial killer. But, he never asked our advice.
It never came up.
You'd be shocked at how seldom it doesn't come up when you're raising a kid. Didn't come up once during Matt's entire childhood.
Came up with Tom, though.
Well, sure, because of Matt.
Yeah, we had to be sure with Tom.
Yeah, we sat him down and we said, hey, don't do all those crazy things that your brother did there. We made sure with that one.
Fool me once.
Fool me once. One day.
Matthew Holscomb was an unremarkable student at Barnstable Regional. Go Fighting Sparrows. Many of his former classmates recalled thinking he was someone who worked there or something. Not a teacher or anything, but also not a student.
I was his guidance counselor, yeah, but I want to stress that I never told him to do any of that stuff. As a guidance counselor in the office, we try to guide students towards higher education or maybe a trade, but what he did, well, that's just not something we suggest.
Matthew never attended church, and clearly he was a man who was lost and angry and needed guidance. And I can't help but think that he could have found that here in the church.
He was an altar boy.
Is that so?
And later a deacon.
That doesn't sound right.
You baptized him.
Really?
Married him to his wife.
Is that so?
He came to confession weekly.
That can't be right. Shit.
I thought it was very graphic and very horrific, but I thought, maybe this is what kids they're doing these days. Maybe I just don't get it. I don't listen to Ludacris.
I think we're done here.
They say small-town mechanics know everyone's business, but if you ask me, my mechanic should spend more time on his own business and less on other people's. Because look, I just don't think if you take a car in for service, you should have to take it back less than a week later, even if it's for a different thing. I mean, come on. Also, how much could a simple oil change cost? Has it gone up a crazy amount, or am I just getting hosed?
I told him to do it. I told him to do all of it. I just told him one day, wouldn't it be funny if you just killed the town butcher? And I love irony because of that song that Lance Moore said. I don't remember the name of it, but and then he just did it. He actually butchered the butcher, and I just thought to myself, hey, wouldn't it be funny if you just killed the butcher in the next town? And then it just snowballed from there. It's crazy.
Our biggest regret?
Well, to this day, it's tough to get a good cut of meat around here.
Shouldn't you maybe have your pulse on what the kids are doing a little more if you're a guidance counselor?
I'm not trying to be Chris D'Elia over here. I have my pulse on kids.
We do get the Omaha steaks by mail, though, so we're getting by.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I like that movie.
I disagree, Gary.